Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the legendary winning MS-200 8-ounce boxing gloves. So check it out. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on what many consider to be the apex of boxing gloves or profile gloves, just depending on the weight that you get. The winning MS-200 8-ounce lace-up boxing gloves. I got mine in blue colorway. Get this in red, black, white, gold, silver. There's a multitude of different colorways you can go and get, just depending on who you purchase these from. Weight-wise, you have the 8 and 10 ounce, obviously for the lighter weights and for sanctioned bouts, all the way up to 16 ounce for training gloves. They do offer this in two types of Velcro closures, one that's smaller and then they have a double Velcro. From my experience with the standard Velcro closure, I'm not a big fan of that. I don't feel like it's very supportive compared to the lace-up. So if you do plan on investing in a pair of winnings, I would always recommend getting the lace-up version. If you do train by yourself or you don't have anybody to lace your gloves up for you, then get yourself a pair of lace converters, like some lace and loops, because I feel like, again, the Velcro versions of these are not very good when it comes to wrist support. Now, this is not my first rodeo when it comes to winning boxing gloves. I've done reviews in the past of winning boxing gloves, but I have never done a review on a lighter glove like these 8-ounce ones, which is really popular with the pros. A lot of them use them to hit the mitts and do some bag work. They like the more compact feel of these, the type of padding, the comfort that it offers, and just that pop and bang that you get out of these winning gloves, and that's why they're so popular throughout the world. I feel like these are probably the most copied and imitated glove out there, or brand out there. You've seen so many different companies, Ring the Cage, Top Boxer, Superior Boxing, Title makes their own version of basically a winning inspired, or they call it Japanese glove. And some of them, you know, give them their credit, they do a pretty good job of getting kind of close to it, but there's really nothing like the original. And obviously, you know, this brand and glove carries a lot of tradition, just like Cleto Reyes and even Grant, who's been around for a very long time. So these are really the mainstays when it comes to the boxing and combat community when it comes to boxing gloves. And I definitely want to give you guys my take on this glove from using this, especially for the mitts and hitting the bag with it. So the first thing you'll notice is that this is a full genuine leather constructed glove. These are handmade in Japan, one of the very few gloves that are made in Japan. As you can see, it has a much more compact profile, being an 8-ounce glove. You have the winning logo on the back. It says 8-ounce official. Since 1937, winning fighting sports world, made in Japan. The difference between these 8-10-ounce gloves compared to the larger training gloves is the training gloves don't actually have this tan colored circle or oval, just depending on the shape you're looking at, around the winning logo. The larger training gloves just have the winning logo. They don't actually have this tan section right here where it has this 8-ounce and this made in Japan. So that's the big difference. You can see the leather has kind of a satin finish to it. Very nice high quality leather that they use in their gloves. Rotating to this side, you can see the thumb is nice and parallel. It has a nice broken in feel. Nice large grip bar. It does say 8 ounces there. Double stitching in the white stitching. You also have that white right here for the piping around the thumb. The padding consistency, the layered padding they use in here, definitely has a much more medium to soft broken in feel. So it compresses down nicely, but when you pinch down on it, it does get denser. So basically, the harder you hit, the more protection you're going to get with this, because you're pushing the foam in further into the glove. You do have that kind of rubberized polyurethane patch that says winning, that's stitched into the back of the glove. The single stitch that goes across. And rotating over to the palm side, you also have that signature dark and navy blue. Depending on if you're colorblind like me, sometimes it kind of comes off as black. That polyester satin liner on the inside. And you also have the weight tag that shows MS-200, made in Japan. And wrist support wise, you have, I'd say, about a 1/2 inch of medium density padding on the back of the wrist. and about 1/4 of an inch all the way up to right about here, as well as on this side. You can actually see the shape of the padding. Nice long round white laces. For those of you guys that are wondering if you have a counterfeit pair, genuine winning laces don't have a tip at the end. They're actually cut off. So if you've ever had a pair of genuine winning laces, at least the laces that come from the factory do not have plastic tips on them. So that's something to look out for when you get winning. And that's pretty much it. So I mean, as far as the look of the glove, it has a very basic look, but very classic and legendary look to it. Quality on these were phenomenal. I mean, there's really nothing for me to pick on with these. The stitching, it looks great. The pattern, the symmetry, they're exactly almost on point with the weight. They're at 7.9 ounces, I believe, or it was basically almost exactly at 8 ounces, and they're exactly on weight with each other. So the left and the right glove were perfectly balanced. You can see the leather consistency looks great. It does have some wrinkling, which is naturally to occur once you start using them. The thumb looks great. The stitching where the thumb meets the index finger looks good. You have that attached thumb, so when you make a fist, it doesn't push down on the tip of the thumb. Has excellent balance, so the distribution of weight throughout the glove is perfect. The logos look good, nice and symmetrical. The stitching on the back of the cuff looks fantastic. The edges look really good. The palm side leather looks good as well. The grip bar is a perfect size. I mean, you can just tell the level of detail that is definitely there with this glove. Where the thumb meets the back of the hand, the stitching is done really well. And just overall a beautiful glove. Comfort-wise, sliding your hand in here, obviously expectations are high with a pair of winnings, and they feel great. I mean, you put your hand in here, the first thing you'll notice is the thumb. The thumb is nice and deep, has good length to it, and the position is perfect. Also, the piping isn't too tight, so you understand that there's this big fat piece of your thumb right here typically, and sometimes glove manufacturers make this piping way too tight, and what that does is it pinches down and it numbs out your thumb, and it's very uncomfortable. So there's definitely a time to break in with these. You don't have any issues with that. Even with my hand wraps on, this felt really good. When I make a fist, you can see that the attached thumb piece right here, when you make a fist, doesn't pull down on the tip. So the tip is really perfect in terms of the depth of it. The finger compartment feels great. I can open and close my hand with ease, no issues there. It's not too wide, not too narrow. And there's like a piece of rolled, I don't even know what to say. It's not even the liner. I would say it's almost like a piece of polyurethane that is actually rolled up on the finger that covers the seam. So it almost acts like a secondary grip bar. You have your main grip bar right here, and then you have almost like this little secondary piece right where the stitching is at. So you could definitely make an excellent fist right there. And then right here over the knuckle area feels excellent as well. And I feel like the liner on the inside of the glove feels really nice and smooth. One thing you'll notice is that they do an excellent job with keeping the liner nice and flat on the inside and not allowing it to bunch up, especially in this section of the glove and where it kind of creeps down to the finger compartment. Oftentimes you'll find that some gloves in this area, generally speaking, has like a lot of kind of bunched up liner, and you don't get that with the winning. Wrist support feels good as well, and when everything is tightened down, it gives you an excellent amount of wrist support. So comfort is exceptional with this glove. Protection performance is right up there as well. These perform amazing. I've never been in a pro fight, nor do I plan to, but if you were going to use these in a pro fight, these are definitely more on the protective side. That's why you have boxers that are typically individuals that maybe had a pre-existing hand injury and just need something a little bit more protective. These would definitely offer you that. You get a good amount of bang, and these feel like a precision tool, in my opinion. They feel very precise. So excellent for pad work. These are those type of gloves that you keep in your bag with you, and anytime you want to hit the mitts with your coach or do some bag work and you just want that nice visceral feel, these would be your go-to gloves for that. But again, using them for the bag, you get excellent pop and bang. The positioning of my hand is perfect. So when you turn your punches over, like if you're throwing your jab, you feel like your knuckles land perfectly each time. And there's just great autonomy to using these gloves, which to me is why these are so popular in the boxing and combat community, which is how well they perform. So overall, they perform excellent as well, just like how they feel when you put them on. Cost-wise, there's quite a variation when it comes to the cost of these, just depending on who you get it from. Like W Japan Boxing is one vendor I look to go through also, as well as Kozuji. Winning USA, if you can get a hold of Kazumichi. Mr. Kazumichi sometimes can be kind of hard to get a hold of, but he's another legitimate seller. Or if you're overseas in Japan, then it's a lot more easily accessible in that regard. But pricing wise, I've seen anywhere as low as like $299 up to like $350, even up to like $400. So there's variables when it comes to who you're buying it from and also the conversion rate, because throughout the year, the Japanese yen and for at least here in the United States, US dollar, they change. So the glove that you might look at purchasing in January might be, let's say, for $350. Then in July, it may be at $300, so it went down 50 bucks. So just generally speaking, it just depends on, again, who you buy from and the conversion rate when it comes to currency. So keep both those in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is the larger gloves typically are more expensive. So these 8 and 10 ounce fight glove sizes are usually more cheaper, anywhere between $50 to $75 cheaper than their 14 and 16 ounce counterparts, which are essentially the same glove. They're just larger, offer more padding, and are built more for training. And those are typically more expensive, so do keep that in mind as well. Considering also colorways, so if you go with like a custom color, like a gold, and they have ones that are like blue with red, or navy blue with gold, that's also going to add to the price. So you can easily see a glove that start off at like $300 end up being $500 to $600, just depending on the variation you decide to go with. So do keep that all in mind when you are looking at purchasing these gloves. Also, do keep in mind there's a lot of fakes out there on eBay, especially if you're looking on eBay. Be very mindful of the seller. Look at the seller's reputation. Make sure that it doesn't have a 0 to it, and it's very generic seller that has no feedback on them. And if the gloves just look suspicious, then you're probably right. They probably are fake. So there's a lot you can look at to identify. I'm going to make a separate video on what to look for when it comes to a pair of genuine winning boxing gloves compared to a fake. That way you guys can kind of gauge what you're getting is real or not, because there's a lot. These manufacturers are starting to catch up. They're getting really good at making fakes, and you have to really be detailed oriented to spot a good fake nowadays. So I will be making a video for that. And for those of you that are asking, well, is it worth it? Should I get these gloves? Are they worth it? They're definitely worth it. Do you have to have them? No. But if you have the budget for them, like say for example, you've been budgeting for these gloves, you've been wanting winnings forever, and you've been putting money aside to pick them up, then by all means get them, treat yourself. I mean, if you have the budget for it, then they're definitely worth it. If you are not in the budget for it, or you just can't justify spending over $300 for a pair of boxing gloves, that's fine too. There are many other great gloves out there that honestly just perform just as well. And you may not get the quality level at the level that this winning is, or might not have that specific feel, but you could definitely get pretty close to it. And again, there's so many different brands out there with different models nowadays that the gap, I guess you can say, for the competition between like these winnings. The winnings used to be just all by themselves, but now a lot of companies are making some excellent gear that definitely can compete with these. But still, I love these winning MS-200 gloves. These are amazing gloves for what you pay for. Obviously, they have a legendary reputation. I believe they'll continue to do so with that. I'm kind of interested to see where winning goes in the next 5 to 10 years, if they release additional products or if they just stick with the same formula that they've had over these past decades. You know, winning's been around for such a long time, and keep with the same formula. So very excited to see what the future holds for winning. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these winning MS-200 boxing gloves. See you guys later. Take care.